Stockport County Live, up and running. Very good evening, boys. I'm going to start by saying it took the last podcast being launched maybe 20 minutes before I got about 5 comments saying, "You just said Happy New Year, welcome to 2020." So great start. Got the wrong year.
We all make mistakes. You're like a referee, you.
We do, mate. We move forward.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We move on. Speaking of referees, we had quite a famous one at Edgeley Park the other night, and we gave him some fireworks. He definitely couldn't complain at the show and the football that was there. Did you boys watch the game?
What game was that?
Brom?
Yeah, great game. Great game to watch. Great firework display. I genuinely thought it was some absolute nutcase County fans, but I believe it was a nice touch for a young boy who got who was in an RTA, and obviously is in a bit of a bad way in hospital. So it was a nice touch that, and fingers crossed he pulls through, and thoughts go out to his family as well.
100%.
Absolutely, it makes you feel grateful.
We're going to speak to Adam Thomas in a moment, who played in the game. He's also wasn't just a special game because it was West Ham and because of everything that's going on in the cup. It's 150 games, which is not too bad.
It's some achievement, mate. Some achievement.
Yes. First and foremost, making a pro, but 150 games as a pro is pretty special.
Fantastic.
I've not even made one.
I barely have.
Still time, Chris.
I asked Jim for a call up a couple of years ago, and he told me to work on my fitness, and that was it for me.
Just wait, mate.
That's the end of the line.
Few bad results, and you'll be in.
You'll get a call.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep knocking. I don't think we're in line for a few bad results at the moment. To be honest, the way it's going.
You need one good season like me, mate. That's all you need.
Without further ado, I'm going to bring in our friend who's sitting there in the waiting room.
Here he is.
Main man.
There is the man. Good evening, sir. How are we?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm really good. Delighted to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
We've been trying to get you for weeks, mate. Your agent's been pushing us back.
Yeah, Liam messaged me today. And, he gave me the opportunity today, Liam. So I thought it was, really good to come on and speak to you.
Happy days. Yeah. Well, listen, it actually is. Joking aside, it actually is one that we nearly had a few weeks back. If you remember, before the COVID break, it's been a weird season, hasn't it, so far?
Yeah, there's been a lot of games sort of played and then not played, and then it's just so unpredictable. Obviously, with the weather as well, there's just loads of factors this season. But I think it just shows what we're coming into January now, and there's still a hell of a lot of football to be played before now and the end of the season. So it's going to be interesting. I know obviously we're sat nicely. We'd like to be a bit higher than where we are in the league at the moment, but we're doing well. We're going nicely, and I think we should just like in seasons gone past. We've always at the turn of the year we've always kicked on again. So hopefully we can do that.
That's actually a really good place to kick off and bring the fellas in, because that is a cliche that has been said for pretty much every season I can remember working at County while Jim Gannon's been there. The Jim Gannon team come good after Christmas, or better after Christmas. Dicko, Matt, I can see you both nodding your head there. Is that something that was in play when you played?
Definitely, mate. Yeah, when I was there, I mean, even from the first season when I signed, we were like 6 points. I think it was 5 or 6 points adrift at the bottom of the league. After Christmas, we kicked on and we stayed up on the final day. Again, the following season, second half of the season was immense. I'd like to Adam Proudlock on bagging for fun, and we missed out on playoffs on, I think it was goal difference. And I think the season we went up again. We had a steady start, but it was after Christmas again. We just all guns blazing, and I feel like that's you do say it's a bit of a cliche, but it seems to happen, year in year out for Stockport County, for Jim Gannon.
It's happened the last few years, hasn't it, Adam?
Yeah, there was that season when we went up. Obviously, we didn't get off to a great start, and then I think it was like October, November. We'd had a few defeats at home, and there was a lot of uncertainty around the place. Obviously, the atmosphere wasn't great, and then going into like November, I think it was the Chorley game at home, wasn't it, which sort of turned our season on its head a bit. We had the midweek. I think we'd come off the back of a defeat at home, so we had to put in a performance. And we beat them comfortably at home. And then obviously we went on to, I think we were unbeaten in December. And then January, we ended up setting that post-World post-war record, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like 20. Was it something like 25 games unbeaten?
I don't remember off the top of my head. You're making me look bad, so I'm going to edit this bit
Yeah,
out.
it was something like that. I'm pretty sure we won like maybe 9 or 10 on the spin at some point in that. We were just absolutely unbeaten, like unplayable at the time. And then obviously towards the end of that season, we made hard work of it, as most fans will remember. But it was unbelievable, to get that done. Obviously at Nuneaton, and then get us to where we are today, kicking on.
You scored the last goal of that season, didn't you?
That season, yeah, the Nuneaton one to make it 3-0.
So yeah, sorry, that game, yeah, you're right. The one that won us the league, a left foot outside the box. I tell you what, me and Matty were speaking about your goal earlier in the season, and you have got a little rocket there when it's needed, haven't you?
Yeah, I can hit my left foot sometimes better than my right. I don't know, I try and hit it too hard with my right. When I do hit it, so you end up just dragging it a bit. But with my left foot, it's something I've always worked on. Like when I was back at Everton and in the academy, seeing Alan Irvine the other night at the game, and he used to do a lot of one-to-one coaching with me on the left foot crossing and just left foot technique. Rather than trying to lever the arse off the ball, I just used to be more delicate with it and focus on the technique more. And that's obviously paid dividends in like when it comes to shoot the ball. Obviously, that one earlier on in the season, I wasn't particularly aiming for that top corner. I was just aiming, obviously, to get it on target with a lot of pace. When I actually looked at it back and seen the keeper's starting position, I don't know how it's actually got where it did, but I'm still thankful to see it go in. And obviously, that was our first win this season, so it was great.
My left foot's just for standing on.
Yeah.
I think I've scored maybe 2 or 3 goals in my professional career with my left foot.
Yeah, my debut
goal.
Good
job that right foot then, isn't it?
Yeah, got that side foot of death. I've got penguin feet, so I've got the side foot of death.
It's a beauty. Press your head down.
Yeah.
Break the net. Yeah. He's right though. I think Adam there. I think, like you say about Everton, I think it's a prerequisite at these higher clubs to have the young lads and the kids working on both feet. I think if a scout comes to a Sunday league game, I've been told that's one of the biggest things they look for. Can a kid use both feet and not just kick with both feet, but generally have balance and get out of tight situations with both feet. Anyone can kick with a bad foot if you've got enough time and you have time to line it up. But when somebody's putting you under pressure, can you adapt with your bad foot? And it's a special goal, mate. And I don't think anyone aims to stick it in the top bin. I think you aim for a good strike of the ball, and naturally, if you strike it too well, it goes down the middle. But if you a little bit of slice on it, they end up in the tyre in the top bin, don't they?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like you just said before, with like playing with both feet, when I was at Everton, I used to play more on the left, so I was more comfortable at coming in with my right foot. But then obviously I needed to have that option of going down the line with my left, and that's where all that stemmed from. So yeah, no, it was really good.
I'm a big believer. If I was a manager, I'm a big believer of playing wide players on opposite flanks. It's so dangerous, people coming in, because the fullback can't adapt. They haven't got the same balance. A left back's not got the same balance, or shouldn't have, on his right side. You take him inside, it takes him half a second to adapt to what you're doing, and that's exactly what happened with yourself.
I feel like they stand out, mate. When you look at players who can use both feet,
2-footed players.
You look at players like you just said. You teach this from an early age. A lot of players still can't use left foot, or
no, they can't in the Premier League.
In the Premier League,
yeah.
And I remember, another Stockport County legend, Anthony Pilkington, and unbelievable. Like you don't know which is his strong foot.
No, Danny was the same.
And he'd take corners in swing with his left or in swing with his right, and it's like that's a talent. I feel like sometimes you can work, but that's something that that's special. You've either got that or you've not.
Yeah.
And I feel like you say about with Adam, you look very comfortable with both feet, and that's a good skill to have.
What do you call a no-footed player?
William Dickinson. I just head it, mate. I just flick it on. I just don't lose that.
Bad or both. Chase.
I feel like that one was set up there, wasn't it?
I was actually thinking it was going to come to me, but I owe you a beer. Thank you. Listen, we try not to do the what happened in the last game, and we've got other things that we want to speak about with you, Adam, while we've got you. But we have to, with the last game being what it was, we have to speak about West Ham for a moment. and everything that came with it. What was it like experiencing that game as a player?
It's just amazing. I think it's everything that we've worked hard for. We've had a really good run this season, and then obviously when we got the draw, there was so much excitement around the club. When we got to there on game day, it's just like a massive occasion. Like the cameras, the lights, it's like raining. Everything was set like perfect for like a fantastic game. Like we were saying off air before, I think it was just absolute credit to the lads. I thought we worked our socks off. We gave an absolute tremendous account of ourselves, and given the fact that they're a Premier League side and we're a National League side, you could tell that there was a gap, but by no means that big. Do you know what I mean? I thought we matched them over the whole 90, and for them to only win the game on a set piece says a lot, I think, about how we defended and how we played. They had a few chances in the first half, which you'd expect. They were moving the ball really nice, but I couldn't believe how open the game became second half, and it was literally end to end. And a few times, we had a few players breaking forward, and I thought it was there to be taken, and it's just unfortunate, that the game maybe didn't go to extra time, and then who knows.
Before I ask the other guys, because I'm going to ask everyone this question, but I want to come to you first. Were there any players that you were playing against on that West Ham team that stood out in particular, where you're playing against, I don't know, be it Declan Rice or whoever, and you think, what a player?
Yeah, obviously I watched a lot of the game and then I got on for a few minutes, but the one that stood out for me was Declan Rice. He's so calm on the ball for his age. He just really ran the show in midfield, and I think what stood out quite more than anything is just how athletic and the intensity they play at. They're always moving. They're always they're just so sharp and athletic and physical. And yeah, that's really what stood out most for me. Really, that difference in terms of that level and what we play at. You
guys nodded in agreement there. Was it Rice for you guys as well?
Yeah, it was. And you've got the likes of Noble on the pitch. Is probably one of the most experienced players in the Premier League, and to be on the pitch with someone like that, Declan Rice, is the future. But you talk about West Ham, he's a legend there. But they brought a strong team, so they knew what they were in for. And I was listening to Moyes before the game, and he was saying, I've watched Stockport a lot these last couple of weeks. He didn't take it lightly. He didn't take the game lightly. He knew that they were in for a game, and the boys proved him right, really, didn't they? Because, like you say, he took a set piece. I think it was disappointing that, like you say, Jim works hard, a lot on set pieces, and the pieces weren't fantastic on the night. So, but that's the only thing I could have faulted with the team. And it wasn't a great night for set pieces. The pitch was bogging. The pitch was heavy. Jesus, the ball was holding up a lot. I just feel like the boys, just honestly, you should all be so proud of yourselves for the performance you put in and the professionalism you showed.
Yeah, it was just a great night. And I thought we could have got more from it. So it's one of them that we should be so proud of what we've achieved, but at the same time you can't help but feel disappointed. And like you said before, that was basically one of the strongest team that they could have fielded. And I think that just shows the respect that they gave us. And I think after it, their reaction, the manager's reaction, the players' reaction, and you've seen it on social media, like their players reacting. I think they realised that they were in a proper game there. Yeah. And we stretched them all the way. And yeah, I think we gave a fantastic account of ourselves. And, obviously the focus is mainly on the league this year. So I hope we can take that energy and that momentum and take that forward now. The remaining games.
Touched on it in the opening, the fireworks. I'm just going to be completely honest, because I know that everybody else in that press box, if they're honest, would say the same thing as well. Absolutely cacked it. Do you know what I mean? When those fireworks started going off, they're the loudest fireworks I've ever heard. as Dicko said, he's right. It turns out it was for a really something that needed some attention bringing to it, I think, and everybody here, I'm sure, wishes a full recovery, and everybody who's watching and listening will as well. But at the time, when there was a game like that going on, how off-putting was it? Was Mike Dean right to pause it?
They were like incredibly loud, like you said. So I think maybe some of their players, I don't know. I think it was bothering their players more than ours, to be honest. I think given the fact that there was no fans there, it brought a bit of, atmosphere and something to the game. But I remember looking at Mark Noble, and every time they were going off, he was like this. He went having a good time. His back was towards it. He was facing the Cheadle end, and poor lad was like this the whole time. It was funny, to be fair. So I think because the picture that I've seen is him with the ref, so I'm not surprised if he's asked, can we just hold out a few minutes until they quiet him down? But
it seemed like they were never going to stop as well.
Oh, I know.
Right.
I tell you what, some money's been spent on them fireworks. They lasted a while.
They're not from Asda.
No, they're not. No,
they're not handmade either.
Have you guys ever played where it doesn't have to be fireworks, but something has been going on off the pitch that is just too distracting to let you focus?
I've had games where there's been like full-on scraps with the fans on the side. And
I was going to say the same, Dick. Other than that, though, I don't think you just get on with the game. Unless the game gets stopped, you get on with it, don't you?
Like you say, if the lads are playing, obviously, the fireworks are loud. But if the ball's in play, the lads are just concentrating on the ball and concentrating on the game, and it kind of quietens it out and shuts it out a little bit. Because the ball was out of play, I think it made it more noticeable for the players, maybe. From their point of view, when you stood round, you're just looking up, watching this firework display. Thinking, are we in November already?
From a communication aspect as well, you're all giving each other instructions on the pitch. Gaffer's shouting on, and you've got that going on.
I reckon you could still hear Jim over those fireworks.
You notice the ref was pointing to his earpiece saying, I think he couldn't hear the
yeah, exactly.
Whatever. So he needed to be stopped.
Yeah.
That's a bad boy banger.
Yeah.
Right, great game. It really was a good game. County did really well. A lot of fans saying exactly what you would expect them to say. It was special for you, Adam, because it was appearance number 150. What an achievement. Do you remember when you first signed for County? Do you remember how much the club how it looked then and how it looks now?
Yeah, it was totally different. I was absolutely made up, to make my 150th for the club. A couple of months ago, I was thinking, I knew I was somewhere in between 100 and 150, and I didn't know how close I was. But then, obviously, I think John Kieran messaged me the other week saying, my next appearance would be my 150th, which is, a fantastic honour for myself, and hopefully I can get to the next milestone, which is 200, and continue that. Yeah, like you said, when I first come, totally different club, wasn't it? First game of pre-season for me. Wasn't really one to remember. Against Cheadle Heath Nomads, I done my cruciate in that game, which it wasn't great. But I think I played for about a month after, before I actually found out what I'd done. So I think that first season was just a write-off. And then since then, I've played a lot of games within them 3 full seasons, and then where we are now, to get to 150. And obviously we've got promoted in that time, and the club's just looking to go on, and you just want to be a part of that, because it's a fantastic club, and it means so much to the players and the fans, and it's just great to be involved with.
Just talk to us a little bit about that injury, because I'll come to you in a second, Matty, because I know you've obviously had it wasn't a cruciate, but it was still a serious injury that you had to overcome. But we were speaking about it before you joined, Adam, and you were saying like to come back from that. I did you a disservice. I didn't realise it was a whole month you were playing. But I remember you telling me you didn't really know at first because you were running in mainly straight lines.
Yeah, it was a strange one. Like I got home that night and it was fine, and then I woke up the next morning and I just physically couldn't move my knee. It was in agony. But then once the swelling would go down, it'd feel like normal. So all the tests that the physio was doing at the time was just coming back negative, because I think my hamstrings were just in spasm, so they were just holding on so much. So I was in and out of training loads with how the knee was swelling up and all that. So it wasn't a great period for me. But then I actually, I was coming off on the bench, and I think I scored in one of the league games. And then I think it was about the Telford game when I think I was due to start, but I didn't. And then after that, I got the results back, and I was shocked. And obviously that season was just a write-off for me. Luckily, come the end of the season, Jim sat down with me and just he obviously understood that I'd not really had the opportunity that I wanted, and he wanted to give me the same opportunity next year. So I was really thankful for that, and obviously I've kicked on since then. So it's been great.
Matthew, can you relate to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, not the injury itself. Mine was like a double leg break, so it was a tibia and fibia fracture, which, you know, initially it appears a lot worse. It's a loud snap around the stadium. You're on gas and air initially, but the cruciate is obviously being in physiotherapy now. The cruciate is one of them long-standing ones. It's one of those that plagues you for the rest of your career or the rest of your life. If you do the right things with a tib and fib fracture, you know, depending on the severity, you're going to recover in a year. Whether you get back to the same level is different. But with the cruciate, I'm sure you'll be able to vouch for this, Adam. It's one of them you have to work so hard to stay on top of it, because you hear so many stories of people doing it 2, 3, 4 times over.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, for me, during the whole rehab and even after the rehab process, it's a daily sort of process.
The rehab will never stop. So, you know,
exactly.
It'll be pre-ab now for you all the time.
Yeah, the single leg stability work that I have to do just to make sure that you can't reduce risk of injury altogether, but you can help yourself by reducing it as much as you can. And I've just got to keep working on that and keep myself on the pitch.
Yeah, the mechanism of that injury, I mean, itself is it's a planted leg and rotation in sort of an awkward direction. So if you, like you were saying, if you can go straight lines, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But the constant change of direction, if you're in the middle of the pitch, for example, it wouldn't have stood up.
Problem I had when I was obviously playing with it is that I was going up for a header and then maybe landed on a single leg, and because of the instability, the knee was then buckling, and then that was starting to do damage on other structures such as my medial, and that was when I was getting a lot of pain in my knee.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
I remember really feeling for you because you came with it. I'll ask you in a moment about the accolades that you'd won at your previous club, but when you came to County, you had big high hopes, expectations, everything else. Especially, it must have added pressure to you seeing how Danny was doing on the other wing. Danny Lloyd, of course, he came in at the same time. You've got 2 new wingers, one's out injured, but the other one's doing the business. You think, get the other one back. So there's that pressure added again. And then it was one of the early games that you came back, I think. You got a bad tackle or something, and it thankfully turned out not to be as bad an injury. But I remember hearing you react to a tackle and assuming you'd got that injury again. It must have been awful for you for a while.
Yeah, I remember that now that you just said that. That was, I think it was Oldham or Rochdale, someone at home. Yeah. And basically, I think Ben had kicked it up and it was a bit short. So I've sort of decelerated, like gone towards the ball and then decelerated. So I was in that sort of semi-flex position. And then the defenders come right through the back of my knee and actually push my tibia forward. And then it's kind of, I was like in a sort of rotation valgus position, and then I've had that knock. So it's like prime re-rupture mechanics. And then the pain from that was quite extensive. I couldn't play on. And then we went into the physio room, he assessed it, and there was some laxity in the knee. So obviously I was thinking the worst. But then when I actually went for my scan, it was just a bit of joint laxity with all the swelling. The actual ligament itself wasn't too bad. It was fine. So that gave me a lot of confidence then, because that was probably the worst position I could have been in.
The first one, you that first hit, that first tackle, that first strike of the ball, I remember I tore my cartilage, and you know, obviously it's nothing compared to what the injury you had. But I remember my first main injury. I tore my cartilage, and coming back doing physio with Roger Wilde at the time, and you know, striking the ball at like 80%, thinking, you know, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to. And when you first hit that full strike, or you make that first tackle, it's like it lifts a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once I actually started, once I got through a sort of succession of about 5-6 games that were sort of thick and fast, and I'd come through that's when I really thought, you know what, I feel like I'm back now, because you've gone through like a tough period there where you're potentially fatigued and you could break down, and everything remained strong, and then I just progressed from there, which was really good.
Let's talk about you then at County. Now, this is probably the wrong 2 players. Maybe Matty a little bit, because you moved around from centre midfield to sometimes on the left and then dropping back as well. But Ad, you've really moved around. You played right back. You played number 9. You played more central as a 10. You've been a bit all over, haven't you? Do you like that, or do you prefer to get the 7 shirt?
No, I do I like playing in different positions. I like playing out wide as on the right, and I also like playing in behind, basically up top. I like making runs in behind. That's where I like receiving the ball. I like receiving the ball facing forward and going towards the goal. Players like that we've had in the past, like Warby, are so good in the pockets, so good at getting on that half 10 and then basically going forward. Me, I like to come onto the game where I can see the play and I can make runs in behind. And yeah, I've operated all down the right side. I feel comfortable down there. And then equally, say like when we've played teams like Dorking, when I operated as a 9 there, I like playing in behind, and I like sort of just making runs and being a bit closer to the goal because they're getting to good positions. But yeah.
As a number 9, Dicko, how would you have found Jim asking you to go and play on the right wing or right back?
I'd have done it. I'd have done the job. You do whatever you can do to help the team out. I remember played. I think it was Southampton. Yeah, Southampton it was. I was at Brighton and I was on the bench and Poyet brought me on left wing. Do a job left wing.
How did that go?
Got an assist, mate. We won 2-1.
Oh, nice.
Well, you say like Adam says, you have your favourite positions, but as long as you're on that pitch, you can put him left. Like you can put him left back, and as long as he's playing football, he's happy. You're happy as long as you can help the team out. Nothing's worse than sitting on the bench and wanting to get on that pitch, wanting to help the boys. Like you don't care where you play, but everyone has the preferred positions. Mine was straight through the middle. When I was the first at County, I think as you get older, your positions like kind of shrink to like one. Like, here's what I can do. That's all I can do now. But I used to play the 9 on my own. I used to play the role of 2 strikers at County. I used to run the channels in behind, come to feet, be used as a battering ram. And you do whatever you do because you love playing. I worked on the pitch every minute of every game.
Yeah. And listen, we're obviously, with us being more adaptable this year, we're adopting like a 4-2-3-1 and then a 3-4-1-2. We've got to have that flexibility. So people have got to play different positions, and that's sort of the key theme of this year of sort of being able to play one position, maybe half another. And yeah, like you said, Dicko, you just being on the pitch is what you want to be. You don't want to be on the bench. You want to be playing for the team. Yeah,
of course. I feel like now, as the game develops, it's more about squad rotation. Whereas when we were playing, it was like, that's your starting 11. They're doing well. They're playing every game. You look at the Premier League and you see some of the best players. You look at players like Phil Foden, unbelievable talent. And he goes through a spell of not playing and, getting 5 minutes here, 3 minutes there. He's unbelievable. He's scoring goals. He's City's leading goal scorer. And he still rotates the team. And I feel like that's the way the game has gone over the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's more about squad rotation. Whereas, like I say, when I was playing, it was like you're our main striker. You play every game unless you get injured. And it's probably more frustrating now for players like yourself, Adam, who have got that ability. And, you do want to play every minute of every game. But it's about being patient as well and, working for the team.
Yeah, listen, though, we've had, obviously, in the past, we've had smaller squads and we've literally had a starting 11 and then we've had some subs. And obviously, due to injury or whatever, then the team's been the team. But this year, we've got a big squad. We've got a lot of quality in the squad. So there is more competition for places and there is going to be a lot more rotation. Obviously, like you've just said, I'd like to be playing a lot more football than I am at the moment. But it's just a case of working hard and being patient and then taking that chance when I get it, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, mate. Just finally, before we let you go, I know we've over a little bit, but the 150 games, we're hoping for 150 more. You look back at the players that were there then or around the time that you joined, you like Ben Hinchliffe, Sam Minihan, Ash Palmer may have been a year later, I think I might say.
Yeah, I think when I first come, it was Ben and Sam that year.
Either way, and there's still Niall Bells there as well. There's still these players, Jordan Keane, who have been there for a long time with you now. Is it crucial to have those with you as that core nucleus? You're not the only old boy, but at the same time, you're in this new pack.
Yeah, no, it's great to have them lads there. We got on really well together and we all understand the way the gaffer wants to work and we understand them principles and what it means to play for County. So, yeah, like you said, it is great to have them there and hopefully as many of us can continue that journey with the club, and getting back to the Football League and beyond.
Absolutely. Well, mate, 150 down, 150 hopefully many more than that to come as well. It's been great having you on, mate.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
All the best, Adam.
Top
Mate.
man, Adam. Congratulations, mate.
Take care.
We'll let Adam go. What I think, what a guy! Like he's
very well spoken, knows what he wants, and he seems like a really, really down to earth, nice guy.
Yeah,
I think when you look at what he when you look at what he brings to the team, and I've said this to him before. This is not a case of saying it. No, he's off air. It took a while for some fans to get used to him. He said himself to us on air in the past, he's not an orthodox player. But once you start to appreciate why the gaffer keeps playing him, because he has the ability to win flick-ons and to track his man and to win corners, and he can get a goal and he can play a ball, and he's got all these things about him, he actually becomes, well, there's a reason he's played so many games, and because he's been a regular for so long, it's because he's Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, and I think going back to what Liam was saying about being able to play in different positions, that is absolutely invaluable these days. A good player with a good football brain can adapt. I could confidently say I know what's required of every position on the pitch, and I could go and play it. Now I'll play some better than others because of the attributes I bring, but that's what it's all about. And again, with Liam saying there about squad rotation, the clubs are playing. They're in so many competitions, especially the top clubs like City and United. They're in so many competitions. You need that.
Yeah.
And for him to rack up 150 games in today's game, and Ben to rack up 200 games in today's game, it's pretty marvellous. And it was not over yet. It's still early days.
True. Ash Palmer did it as well. How many guys?
I think to rack up 150 games for Jim Gannon is, that's something, because he knows what he wants and he won't stand for any slacking. And like you say about consistency, Jim's a perfectionist, and that says something about Adam's game to be able to rack up that many performances.
How many did you play with Jim?
Me?
Yeah, we'll both here.
I think it was 95.
Yeah, I didn't play that many. I don't know the exact number. I had 22 starts with him in my debut season, first division. Then he left and I went back on loan. I would probably guess somewhere near 40.
Yeah, I think I had about 90,
maybe 50.
Between 90 and 95, and then I went back, obviously when he wasn't there, and I think I got about another 13, 14 games. So I am in the 100 club, but not all for Jim.
Now, let me just move the conversation on a bit. I never, ever thought in my wildest dreams when I started working in radio and broadcasting and everything else, I never thought I would be on a podcast that maybe had a new feature coming in that said, Dicko, what's on your T-shirt?
Right, you know what?
You've got a hoodie on, and it's probably too warm to be wearing a hoodie.
Well, you should ask them. Boiling, mate. I thought I'd stick with the FA Cup vibe, talking about
Dicko, can I guess it?
Go on.
Is it Wentworth High, that?
I'm talking about big games, we just asked Adam, he was a standout player. He's obviously the Declan Rice, and I feel like the standout player that, the biggest FA Cup game I've played in. And this guy, by the way, was, after the game, was mithering for my shirt, mithered me for it. He tried to rip it off me, so we're going for
Aston Villa.
What player?
Gabby Agbonlahor.
How much are you going for? Tight, by the way. It was a medium.
Yeah, I would have said a Agbonlahor. Medium.
Hang on. I'm not gonna go Agbonlahor, even though I think he's probably bigger than a medium.
Is it Agbonlahor's son?
Dicko probably wouldn't have played against Agbonlahor. They're both strikers to the other end of the pitch. So I'm trying to think of the defenders. Would that have been Olif Melberg?
I'm out, Dicko. Have a look out your window, mate. Oh, better.
James Milner.
Better.
Right, he's still got his Vic stain on it.
That's class. That is absolutely class.
Elton.
There's a way for that.
Well, you know what, mate? That's what FA Cup's all about, isn't it? It's playing against superstars, getting that one opportunity to play against superstars. Declan Rice, he won't be at West Ham much longer. He'll be at Chelsea or Spurs or somewhere like that. He's a big player for the future, and to look back and think, you know what, I played against him, and I played well, and we did good. We did really good, actually. We were very unfortunate not to beat them. All the lads should be proud. And looking at the game, I feel like talking about the shape of of the team, I feel like there was nothing out of place. I feel like Lois and Ryan Crowdale did a fantastic job screening the defence. I played with Ryan at Staley Bridge for a short time. Great player, absolute engine on him. I feel like Liam. I feel like Hogan was unreal. I feel like he got the MOM. He's just a leader. He's a born leader. Always has been. Sam Minion, I really like him. And that is it Kitchen on the left?
Yeah.
I feel like they could play a lot higher. 100%. I think every player on the pitch has proven that they can play a lot higher.
I used to think I'd be my man of the match to Lois Maynard. I thought he was brilliant.
He broke everything up. He's so cool and calm on the ball. But do you know what? Like I say, that Kitchen for me, I really like him. He's one of them fullbacks that just bombs on. He's got pace. He's got power. He's strong. He's good on the ball. I really liked him.
What about Jack Hinchy, the young lad who came on towards the end, making his debut
against West Ham?
It's pretty special, isn't it? That is stuff for dreams.
Rice, Noble, Antonio, Ogbonna.
Needs to retire now.
Yeah. He's going to struggle to match that.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked. It's rare as well. Let's have it right. It's rare. I'm super proud of my debut. You know, Liam, you'll be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But against the Premier League side, that's put probably the strongest side they could out with. You know, give or take. It's unreal.
But that's that's a bit of praise for Jim Gannon as well. You know, giving a young lad an opportunity like that. There's other players on the bench that he probably could have put on, and to give a young lad his professional debut against West Ham United
in a tight game as well.
In a tight game, because he obviously trusts him in it as well. It's not just there's a little cameo. He obviously trusts the player as well to make that decision. So fair play to Jim for that, but also well deserved. He's obviously worked hard and proved himself.
Well, that's it. That's what a lot of people, and I'm not saying in this case here, because obviously Jack had a lot of praise, and rightly so, but a lot of people won't see all the work that goes in. He didn't just land in that seat. Do you know what I mean? The hours of training, the hours of listening to Jim,
exactly.
And fitness and everything else that goes with it. He's done a remarkable thing there. So fair play to him.
But before that as well, years ago as a kid, he beat off thousands of kids to get to be able to have this opportunity.
It's harder now.
It's not just now
because the amount of money that's in football, it's so easy to buy players within the league, and it kind of shuts the door for the young players coming through.
It does, tried and tested.
Yeah,
but that's what Jim's all about. You got the same start, Liam. I got the same start. Most of the lads get the same start. He's done it everywhere he's gone.
Well, it's another big game this weekend, Notts County. We'll have the trophy. We'll have quite a lot more to speak about next week if you boys are both able to make it back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll have to dig out another shirt.
Yeah, run out of shirts, mate.
Maybe we get James Milner on the show and ask him to wear a Dickinson shirt.
I don't think he's got much to say, mate. It's a bit boring.
No stories to tell.
Hey, if you're watching James, have it back, mate.
He might be a bit boring, but I've heard that he's got a Liam Dickinson framed shirt in his living room.
Framed, mate, above the fire. Put the picture of the kids down and put that there.
He's certainly not got a boring football style. He's no player with a remarkable career behind him.
Very, very good player.
Yeah, he's all right. He's fantastic. He's brilliant. Well, listen, boys, it's been a treat as always. We'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Deco.
Emotional.